All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Moonduck coverage of the Northern Arena Beat Invitational presented by Bell. These are the main qualifier playoffs, and right now we have got another lower bracket series. This is a best of three. Loser of the best of three will be going home. No land for them in Montreal. Definitely going to be an interesting series here. We've got some of the NA greats playing it up, and I am very excited to be joined by Motpax. It's been a while, man. How you doing?
Hello. Oh,
Hi.
it's so good. Life is just so good right now. You know, MDL is on. There is just Dota. Like, you can get up. Maybe you didn't have time to stay up for it. I'm on a weird sleep schedule right now that's going to bite me in the ass. I have to go to the dentist at like 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, which was a huge error, not realizing MDL was going to be on this week. So I'm on China time. So I'm kind of blowing it. But it's okay because no matter what time of the day you get up, there's like premium VODs you can watch now. You grab yourself that ticket because no one wants to watch live China games because it's all likey anyway. But man, oh, it's so good to be able to just surround yourself in Dota all day. It's the best. I love it. So all that premium action, thumbs up stuff. Get to watch the big boys going out with their drafts and whatnot. It'd be interesting to see if it's gonna influence any of this. I think we've already seen maybe a little bit of that influence coming from some of these games, right? In the actual MDL, some Omni picks, quite a bit of play at MDL. To I think a lot of people's surprise, and of course, what have we been seeing all week here, right? It's just these random omnis. Position 4, going right into the offlane from Tavo earlier tonight. So I'm very excited for Dota.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Omni pick is also just reminiscent of another NA great who will not be mentioned at this point in time. But Doo Wop,
Second place TI.
second place at TI, absolutely. That is not something to be undervalued. Either way, Doo Wop starting out with that Shadow Demon. They can grab up a Kunkka here if they want for that tried and true combination. That means Doo Wop are perhaps going to be looking towards those, spammy illusion-based cores. Oh god, I was dreading that pick. Now we have Snake King, Stand King, and a Sand King. I just fuck me up, man. I just can't.
Yeah, that's true. Well put out there. No, this is really nice, right? Drafting right now, so much about versatility. It comes down to versatility in your role, like what your hero's going to do. Sand King support, we've seen plenty of. Sand King offlane, we've seen plenty of. And it also comes down to lanes, too. Like, Sand King is a guy that can just mess up so many of these great laners. Faces Void, Axe, they've both actually just been taken out, which is kind of comical because they're some of the ones that Sand King's usually designed to go up against. But having him, just that slight bit of versatility, even though we're almost positive it's going to be in the offlane, it's nice to have that here, especially when they go for something like the Batrider, who is one offlaner that can actually do well up against Sand King. So you might see them rotate this into a support role now.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a lot of flexibility. They still have a potential other support pick. It could be that laning Sand King. I mean, in the last two series we watched, it's been really successful. The Caustic Finale allows for a ton of farm, but it does also require really stable lanes elsewhere in case things go awry. Now this Batrider pickup, I know we talked a little bit about it. With the Oracle, I do like the combination. Are we going to see mid-bat, off-lane bat, position 4 bat? There is some flexibility.
Yeah, generally, I think if you're FDL, you would love it. If you see this is going to be a Sand King soloing in a lane, you'd love to have that matchup with the Batrider against the Sand King. If you want to tailor your draft towards that, that's something you can do. Then you pick some cores that could go aggressive with the Oracle, maybe like a Juggernaut or something, or a Luna. We've seen a couple situations go. Maybe even get that Kunkka too and have some good rotating power, but also some nice tri-laning potential. You see the Nyx man come out because they already have the Batrider. And Oracle being on your team is fantastic. One of the best supports up against Batrider. Shadow Demon is great, but having a Nyx as well would have just been like that perfect little trifecta for them. So, and not too much of a surprise there from FDL banning that.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't allow for too much roaming. I really would like to see the Kunkka pick up. I don't think it's too risky. I don't think it gives away too much. I think it's pretty out there in the open when you already go for that grab onto the Shadow Demon. But we'll see if they're going to be going for, maybe that like laning Shadow Demon, maxing the Shadow Poison stacks to get the most damage possible. Not something I've seen Doo Wop do a lot. I do see them run that, roaming, go for the disrupt, grab the Soul Catcher early kind of play style. But I'm excited to see what Doo Wop pick up for their cores. I think it's going to be maybe something like that Luna or like the Terror Blade that's illusion based and benefits from the Shadow Demon disrupt. But what's their mid going to be? Are there any guesses there?
So far, I mean, they have last pick, so ideally that's the hero that wins you the game, right? And that tends to kind of be your mid laner in a lot of situations. You want to have that perfect, like, complete lay of the land, know exactly what you're up against, and choose that hero then. So for now, they get to keep that one in their back pocket, which is always nice. We get to see 3 more heroes before we have to guess at that one. I do think just because the Batrider's here and they already have the Shadow Demon, that it's a perfect game to send this Sand King into the 4 role. I don't think you have to put it into that burden of being into a core, which is really nice. So I do think we're going to see quite a bit of action coming up from those two. So we're still looking at an offlaner, hence the Nyx ban, which is very nice.
Yeah, I mean,
And that OD ban is also super solid here because we've just seen so many games where Oracle plus OD, excellent combination.
so
lets
much
this guy
damage
just run
scaling
rampant.
into the late game.
Yeah. Now, one issue is that depending on the heroes that start coming out from Doo Wop, as we assume this is probably both their supports already picked up, there could be a good opportunity for FDL to head into a Razor, because they already have the
Ooh.
Oracle, and just like OD, Razor works exceptionally well with that same idea of being able to run rampant through the fight with no one slowing you down.
I don't know how much of the first series you caught, but first 2 games we did have a Razor pickup by Pain, and it was pretty successful. It kept the pace of the lanes back. First game, it just rolled on it. It was just all over the place. Razor got crazy amounts of room mid, but he doesn't scale phenomenally well. It's something Cap brought up a little bit. So if FDL go for that route, they do kind of have to end before 40 minutes, or it gets really tough.
Yeah, he's one of those lane dominators, right? He's one of those guys that just, you're designed to have a good lane and play the game out from that, and if you don't, then it's just kind of like, oh shit, like, why did we pick Razor if we didn't win the Razor lane? This is definitely a problem. So it certainly comes down to what they see coming out from the side of Doo Wop, but one of the benefits of someone like Razor and like OD is that there's not many heroes that you're like, oh, they picked OD, let's pick X, right? I mean, you can get a Nyx Assassin, for example, you see who's banned out, but it comes into that situation of just, it's not an actual 1v1 situation that you can just win. So when you don't have that final pick, it can be a great time to go for someone like the OD or the Razor. And well, there's our Kunkka. So I guess it is going to be a core sinking.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a huge surprise. The Shadow Demon Kunkka combo is just filthy strong. It's able to gank really early, and Sand King is pretty sustainable on his own in lane. If you wanted to punish him in the off lane, what core would you go for in FDL that can scale up really early?
Good question, right? You're gonna have the Fate's Edict save from Oracle, which is kind of nice. So the only problem is you have to get it off now before Disruption, which can be a little bit tougher. Like generally, you like the whole X gets put on them, so you throw the Fate's Edict and they can be safe. And for now, we're just gonna get a little bit more backup, a little bit of Eagle style here. Big Bad Bird himself, and another hero as well, who EG picked up, I believe, last night during MDL 2. So I'm dying to get quite a bit of love right now, and gonna try and cause some issues. You know, that whole Shadow Demon Kunkka thing, it takes a little while. You gotta disrupt them. There's a little bit of time. Then there's an X, a Torrent. Tombstone can start doing quite a bit of work during that. And then there is that interaction of the illusions creating more zombies, which is kind of cool.
Invoker.
All right.
If it's a save, of course. But
yeah, I mean, the Invoker
anyway.
pickup here, I do like this. I think it is just a sustainable mid laner, scales up pretty reliably. I mean, Batrider might go for a BKB later on. Maybe if Undying is just filthy rich, he goes for it. But it does kind of force FDL into a weird place where they now have to think, you know, what's the team fight going to be like? Their cores are yet to be decided. And going up against the Invoker is pretty tricky stuff. Do you think the Razor is still viable here, or do they have to go for more team fight oriented stuff?
If you go for something like the Razor, you're definitely going to put that pressure on the mid lane, right? Maybe force some of those rotations from the supports. And when you have an Undying and an Oracle, you're already putting that pressure wherever your position 1's going to be. So going for someone that can actually harass, and that's really nice too. Just go for a super solid hero in the Timbersaw who can just go mid versus the Invoker, no real concern of dying. And because of that pressure from the Undying and the Oracle in lane, there shouldn't be too many rotations from the Shadow Demon and the Kunkka, which are two supports that can actually really mess up a Timbersaw in the mid.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of rotations, though. I think Doo Wop have to invest a lot of resources to have a really viable laning stage. Their mid game's going to be great. They've got rotations up the wazoo. Invoker should hit a decent timing point. They've got crazy damage coming out of the Sand King, and whatever position 1 they're going to be getting should get a decent amount of space. But FDL, I mean, they're survivable, and they've got the Oracle to keep everyone alive. It's going to take a lot of action from Doo Wop to actually get FDL heroes down.
Yeah, it's interesting to think like what kind of a laning situation they want to go for here too from FDL. You can just go when there's an Undying, you're going aggressive. Like you're doing some sort of an aggressive situation. The question is, are you doing it with Batrider Undying, based on the heroes you see, or are you gonna try and just do like the full Monty? You're going Oracle Undying and then some sort of a core. Lifestealer would have been pretty nice, having that natural rage. The other hero who's extremely similar would be the Juggernaut. So we could see that come out here from FDL. Overall, It's really nice. Only downside, it's a good hero for Shadow Demon to disrupt and, of course, create some baller illusions. But other than that, it's not really a big deal. So could be a super solid option for FDL if they want to go aggressive when you compare it to someone like a Luna, who's just so squishy that if she gets caught out once by Shadow Demon into the Torrent, the Fate's Edict just might be a little bit too late to save her from the Oracle.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be a BKB builder or someone with magic immunity, because that is a majority of what Doo Wop are doing to hurt you so far. But Doo Wop have yet to pick up their safe laner. Is there anything they really like to gravitate towards that is still in the pool? Anti-Mage.
Is that a morph? Yup.
Oh, there you go.
Ban that AM. Grab Morphling.
Yeah.
The old 1-2 punch.
Pretty tried and true.
Yep.
But now Doo Wop have a chance to react to this. FDL, very calm, collected laning phase. They don't want to be fighting. They don't want to be YOLOing forward. I mean, the Undying can play up and play aggressively, but you're not going to really commit to, like, gigantic pushes, gigantic fights before Morphling gets his first big items, before Timbersaw gets Bloodstone. You definitely want to, you know, keep that momentum going forward nice and slowly, gaining some traction. But Doo Wop, I mean, they just have that wombo combo where they just punch you up. And there's the Luna pickup. It does combo really nicely with those Shadow Demon. You get ultis with, illusions with Moonglaves bouncing every which way. So if Doo Wop actually do end up cracking high ground early, the buildings are going to crumble. But I don't know, FDL, they've got a lot of tank ability. They've got a lot of sustain.
It's a really solid pick because you don't have the best defensive supports. You've got the Shadow Demon, but you don't have that Oracle. You don't have that Dazzler, something to go into like a Terror Blade or anything like that, which could have been kind of along the same ideas with overall push, but benefiting from the Lunar Blessed, you're going to have those forward spirits and whatnot, so you just kind of run into objectives and push things down. So I'm liking it from Doo Wop. They're going to try and beat out this Morphling, right? Beat out the Timbersaw. These are heroes that need to get that one big item, the Bloodstone, or that Lincoln Sphere. Sometimes just half a Lincoln Sphere, Dragonlance, E-Blade, depending on what Beast is going to have to try and do. But for the most part, Doo Wop have a solid win condition here, right? Push early, take objectives, and FDL kind of have to try and delay that out and put on as much pressure as they can with Mr. 4 here and our Batrider.
Man, I'm still going to get so messed up by Sand King, Snake King, and Stan King. Just assume... I'm just never going to say the right one. Just assume it's one to the left. Either way, smoke coming out from Doo Wop, looking to make those nice early rotations, and just going to get some nice vision up in terms of who's holding onto the wards. We've got our Shadow Demon with the 2 observers, so maybe getting some deep Radiant jungle vision.
See how they've itemized here. Francis, he's got that mango up.
Oh, going
the
forward.
Fun times of the Sand King.
747 gonna get smacked down. Could this actually be a first blood? He has the Timber Chain available, but I don't even think that's gonna save him. He's gonna be picking up the reactive armor, trying to just get some sort of sustainability. But I mean, when 5 heroes are wadded around you at level 1, you have to just give it up. And it goes the way of the Luna on a really gross looking mount. Either way, nice gold going Snake King's way.
What? Yeah, what is this thing?
That mount, it looks like a weird tree spirit come to life.
Okay, I will give you that.
I am not about it. All right.
It is, isn't it? It's like wood. You're right. You are quite correct. I'm super down with this mount now. All right. Important things analyzed. Excellent. Oh, look at those boots early, though. That is so sick for Snake King, man.
Look at this cockiness coming out. They're saving the rune for the Timbersaw, who just walks in to get it. They know that Doo Wop aren't coming in. So, 2 runes.
Early game recovered. Yeah. Excellent.
1-1 rune split. I mean, that could have gone Doo Wop's way if they had been a bit more aggressive, but I guess CCNC didn't want to push it, not knowing what's waiting around the corner. Perhaps a tactical rune bait. But for now, Invoker versus Timbersaw, how's this matchup going to go?
Pretty chill, right? Neither person really killing each other. You can get as much harass as you want early on in the game, but for the most part, Susie's fine. CCNC gets free farm. And he doesn't have the Quelling Blade to start either on Susie, so hopefully for CCNC's sake, you shouldn't be able to be denied too hard, which is the only... sometimes you get a couple denies, but Invoker's always just going to have this advantage. Lots of musical lanes coming out right now from Doo Wop. Because of the vision that was down in the bottom lane, they were able to rotate the Undying right down the bottom, because they saw them coming when he did this and came on back down and blah, blah, blah. So now back up to the top lane, because you just want to put this Undying up against this Luna non-stop. The great wards put down from the Radiant, they were expecting a tri-lane up top, so they already blocked off his camp and everything, and so they're well prepared for this right now.
Batrider could be in some trouble. The Torrent will connect. That's up in the air. He's got the Firefly. Can he make it to the trees in time? They bring in Jason, who goes for the Disrupt, and I think this might be the end of MJW. He hits the deck. And it looks like Undying trying to get some revenge, punching up Flea, but definitely not going to be enough to get done, Francis. And, well, just moving forward.
The dream, the absolute dream. When you're that person who has to make that rotation, like that lane shift like that, and you manage to get a kill first, like, I mean, you have 4 heroes anyway. Might as well wait a second, right? And it looks like maybe just not expecting the Sand King to be there in the trees, so too many heroes and a freebie for them.
Yeah, I mean, Luna already picking up some decent farm in lane, 3 last hits, and, you know, the 1-0-1 kill score definitely helping her out in terms of her early net worth. Now, back to mid. Overall farm going to be relatively even. Invoker getting a little bit more courtesy of the Forged Spirits, but 747 still playing up, still being in the wave. I think the real action, though, that's going to be coming out top lane as Snake King. It's really important that FDL punish him, but at the same time, if they invest too many resources, then they leave their Morphling weak, which is just not a good thing. You got to keep that Morphling farming in the first 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, and that is one of the benefits of Undying, right? You kind of get the power of 3 heroes through just 2. And just pairing him up here with this Bat Rider, it's kind of reminiscent of things like Enchantress Slarda or something like that. These ideas of these early game brawlers that can apply that sort of a pressure onto people.
Well, now we are going to have a bit of a
Right
scuff down
down.
bottom. Sand King is going to get trapped in once again. They do bring in the Luna, but can she really do enough? She's walked into 3 heroes. Sand King is going to get temporarily helped out by that Oracle. Does end up hitting the deck, and now it's just Luna versus the world. As Visa, without a waveform, can't reinitiate, but either way, Snake King, no matter where he goes, just seems to be, you know, trying his best. He's getting good farm. He has a decent KDA, but his team has to stop the bleeding at some point. They can't just keep rotating back and forth forever.
Yeah, the recovery, level 2 in the Soul Rip for the save there from our Undying players. That was pretty sick. Did they get that kill? Meanwhile, top lane, yeah, as they bail out. Man, this is hilarious.
Has anyone
just all
stayed
over
in the
the
same
place.
lane aside from mid for more than like 15 seconds?
No, not really. This is what you expect, though, right? Like, get away from this Undying. We don't want to deal with this, but we'll see how long Snake King and company stay down here. Are they? All right, thank God. I was actually about to buy TP again. Oh, he actually did.
Well, we'll see what's going to happen here. Snake King, again, needs that space, needs just a little bit of time to go farm up, but Undying has made it his life's mission not to let that happen. Morphling, meanwhile, is getting a fair amount of last hits here, 20 and 8, only surpassed by the Timbersaw in the mid, who's now scaling up pretty nicely. CC&C starting to drop a little bit behind in terms of CS.
Yeah, Susie just bullying him out of here. Maybe CC&C just missing a couple here and there, but 4 spirits get up, you know, life's fine, so too bad in a wee bit here.
Yeah,
I'm just more excited to see what the hell Snake King's gonna do. Oh, look at that decay. Get out of my lane, he says.
this bottom
that
lane,
TP
there's
scroll.
6 heroes just chomping at the bit to jump on each other.
Yeah, Susie's really putting the heat now, though, trying to lower down CC&C because he's got that haste rune as well, so you really got to respect it right now if you're playing this Invoker mid.
Yeah,
And that's going to impact his farm again here.
He's sitting pretty far back. He's ready to just go and collect those CS, but it's slow going here. He's now getting consistently surpassed, 747, able to just really stay up in it. Now, underneath the tower, trying to make something happen. There's going to be Kunkka walking through, maybe setting up a torrent, but he's just going to be sitting in the woods for now. 747 with a reactive armor, just don't give a hoot. There's the torrent, it will connect. The Sunstrike going forward as well, so now the haste rune popped out. 747 just hauling ass back to the river, but little does he know he's about to meet with the Luna. Snake King cannot get in range to cast the Lucent Beam, so 747 popping a salve just gets right back to business. Meanwhile, top lane, we finally got the Bat Rider in a solo lane going up against 2, but should be able to deal with that. I say that as Jason pops in. They go for the body blocks, but is there enough damage? Even with the Burrow Strike, Luna, she hops back up. There's the Lucent Beam. It's just too many musical lanes, man. Just everyone hopping around. No one knows where the rest of the team is.
Yeah, Jason God. Very nice. I liked it. Sick body block, please. And back up top comes our Undying. But, I mean, you know, you bring down the Bat Rider. Undying's not that scary on his own. So it's kind of good. They got some clarities rocking. Kunkka is down in the mid lane, but oh, they do have vision. Okay, that was just pinged out here by Sand King, so Susie can play it a little bit safer.
Well, 747 might be in a little trouble. It doesn't have the timber changes yet. The Disrupt comes out. They can follow up with the Torrent as well. They're not able to get that splash up in the air. And now 747 just chasing down Jason. The Whirling Death is able to cancel out his clarity and do a decent amount of damage, but looks like everyone retreating for now. 747 wants spend that time in lane getting CS, setting himself up for a great mid game. Now, big rotation up top as the action never stops here. Kunkka and Shadow Demon, they're going to rotate till the day they die. At least Snake King feels like he's found a little bit of a home.
Yeah, you can see overall, though, despite the kill disparity, these rotations are just heavily favoring Doo Wop.
Yeah.
Snake King is the one being forced to run around. You look at Bisa, he's fine. He's up like 400 net worth. Timber's doing great in the mid lane, of course, we talked about. And our Batrider is way above the Sand King. And so he's going to have to really catch up with some of these caustics. But Francis is the one who's just being forced, like, okay, I guess I have to go to the shit lane, and almost goes down.
Yeah, Purifying Flame's actually going to help him out there. Morphling not able to get that one last swipe, but the farm's pretty good. Water Droplet sitting at the top of the chart, matching up with his own Timber Saw. Flea is going to be able to heal himself back up so he can at least stay in lane, but you know, the Sand King is getting good XP, good farm. He's not able to kill. He's not able to really heavily contest Morphling's farm. Is there something that Doo Wop should do to make that lane a little bit stronger?
At this point, it's kind of one of those, we're just going to wait till all our timings hit, and we're going to start doing stuff from there. The worst part for them right now probably is just the fact of where Francis is at, because they can't have this like accurate portrayal of when they're going to have this Blink Dagger, which is going to be super handy for them kind of jumping in. Like, imagine if they blow up someone like this Undying first, because Tombstone's going to be very important for them to defend these towers. It allows time for rotations to come in from someone like Susie. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, he is able to live through that, almost taking down Bisa, but the Morph strength keeps him alive. And now Sand King left to clean up the mess and just go back to farming. Morphling forced all the way back to Fountain, so that alone is a fantastic play from the Sand King. Even if he himself has to go back, just putting a cap on the Morphling's farm for 30-40 seconds, worthwhile.
Yeah, just a little bit too low on the mana there from Bisa to be able to just finish him off, so nicely done indeed. Oh, look, more heroes top.
Everyone, just stay where you are. Lay on the floor, hands by your sides, and stop moving. Now, Disrupt comes out. The Sunstrike might be enough. There we go. CC&C just drops the Undying. Now, MJW looks to move forward, but I'm not quite sure what the end game is here. The rest of his team not quite there. They do get the Luna down. Napalm for days as she stands in the fire.
MJW?
Is he just going to God mode this? Now it looks like there is going to be that poison sprayed onto him. He's not able to take out Jason, again with 5 napalm stacks, but what a bloody game. Good God.
Yeah, I think that's one of those moments where like, yeah, I got your core. I know I'm dead because these poisons are stacking up. You guys have a Shadow Demon and a Kunkka, so the chase is there. And that's a little bit of an XD.
I think that's kind of worth it at that point. You've got Francis making a ton of space. I mean, for a Sand King that had his troubles finding any sort of farming space early on, he has at least broken even. He's getting a decent amount of CS. Unfortunately, not able to stop
look
the
at
Morphling,
CC&C
though.
mid.
Oh my god, deep dive coming out, 747. Is he going to get punished for this? He's finally got that Timber Chain, tosses out a Chakram. And there is going to be the Burrow Strike connecting. Invoker, what are you going to do to follow up, boy? Don't have that Forge Spirit. Looks like Sunstrike's off the menu as well, so just going to let 747 off this time, but again, things are heating up. This is going to be a very active mid-game.
Yeah, and look at that, 3 points in the reactive armor. It's just absurd how fast he regens and just go right back to work. And if you're not going to actually commit this Kunkka and this SD to coming mid, it's so unlikely you get the kill. You can't just like YOLO Sunstrike him or something like that. You do need all of the magic damage that you can manage to put up here, so pretty well a easy peasy game here for old Susie ever since that first blood.
Yeah, I mean, Timbersaw's definitely not feeling the pain. The problem is the rest of his team, are they able to scale up? Morph getting a lot of free farm up in this top lane. We've got the Undying doing well. Batrider, who we saw just playing that God mode, almost picking up a double kill, but he should have easily been killed. But, you know, FDL, they're looking strong kill score, though. Still in Doo Wop's favor. Is that going to continue, or is things going to plane out towards the mid game?
Oh, we get the old drums up here on MJW. They're kind of happy with this situation right now, I think, from FDL. Just, again, Bisa, right? Just farming. He is very happy if this tower stays alive. He stays down here. He's got Sand King babysitting him. And the only, I guess, problem might be like some sort of a rotation where Francis ends up with Epicenter and you manage to get a kill thanks to Kunkka. Oh, Francis.
Getting fancy. Short-range Burrow Strike. Now, Oracle is able to follow up, but little Sandstorm to break things up mid lane. We could have a big rotation here onto 747. He's pushed his luck now. There's going to be the Cold Snap. The Disrupt coming back up. Sunstrike to follow through the boat as well. They are dumping everything. for the Timbersaw, and they are successful, so costs them a lot, but in the end, they get the payout they desperately needed for the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, that is super important. Being able to, and a lot of that comes down to this Sentry Ward that took out the Observer that was here from the Radiant, because there wasn't, like, if you see that rotation coming, or you just don't even see them for like 2 seconds up here, you're just going to jump with these drones right on top of this Luna, and Snake King's dead. But they don't get that opportunity because they don't know the supports were completely gone. By the time they do, it's too late. And it's a free kill here for the Dire side with no payback.
MJW, he's trying to make it happen. Snake King tossed up into the lasso, but Batrider just gets alley-ooped here, trying to get back to his safety net of the tier 1 tower. But the support duo proves too strong, and Batrider hits the deck again. Timbersaw actually TP's up to the top lane, wanting to try his luck out on this Luna, just taking up that off-lane farm while Batrider is in a little bit of disrepair. Now going in, Snake King just drops the base there. Eclipse used. Now that's an XD moment.
Yeah, this is just God bless the Sentry Ward, honestly. Like, the last 3 kills would not have happened if that ward was still there. I mean, plain and simple. That is just ridiculous.
All right, so things moving around. Doo Wop, picking up a pretty heavy kill lead. Lanes are still going well for FDL. They've got the Morph farming. Now, Morph obviously not wanting to get too ambitious without a Lincoln Sphere. Is there anything that FDL should be doing in the meantime to stop the bleeding?
I mean, this is what you're seeing. Francis can be extremely obnoxious with no supports. It's pretty hard for Beast to actually get a kill or anything. Again, he's forced back to the base, so for now, this is okay. They've just won those last 3 little engagements. They got some kills. That's forcing final rotations actually out here from Stanking. You know, he's pressured to go around the map and do stuff now. Can't just sit bottom with Bisa. MJW gonna run to way too, and Jason.
Support duo coming in. They've got the turret, the Sunstrike though. It's not going to be enough there. Oracle keeping MJW nice and healthy. Shadow Poison not going to do enough. So support duo wasting a bit of time, but rotating right back into the top lane to help Luna take out this tower. 4 to 5 pop from the Radiant, but I don't think they're really going to be able to mount a great defense unless everyone comes up here. MJW seems intent on guarding this with his life, but can he really afford to go down here? He tosses out the Flame Break. No, wait too. He's sitting there. Snake King actually moves forward aggressively. There is going to be that Fortune's End popped out onto our little Luna. Now TP is coming in. It seems like Doo Wop may have overextended a little bit. 747 comes in, drops in that Chakram. They're able to get the kill on the Luna, the Flame Break to cancel the TP. Jason, he's got a few options left. He doesn't have that Disrupt. Way too tries to TP out. Do they have the damage? Oh, they do. They drop that nuke in, and Oracle's able to pick up a kill. Now they're looking for more. Looks like they should be able to easily pick up the Shadow Demon as well, so it's going to be a 3-for-0 trade. It seemed like Doo Wop had that in the bag, but they just stayed a little too long and underestimated the rotations from FDL.
Yeah, precisely. Undying is just so nice. That's exactly what we talked about. When that push comes in from Luna, they're going to drop Tombstone, and it gives time for your allies to come in. Like, it's so good. They try to run, but there's enough stuns left just from the Batrider alone that you can make sure that at least your priority targets, there's no way they're going to be able to TP out in time, and then from there, it's just the damage is Francis.
I mean, these guys just going at it. Another thing about the fight top is that Morphling did not participate, so just farming up the entire time, and you know, halfway to that Lincoln's now going to be healed by the Oracle. Needs a bit of time to morph strength and take a couple of healing shocks, but things are going pretty well now. Scan is going to be used. Radiant do see that someone's creeping around in the jungle. Snake King, gotta be careful. He's got a Sand King there.
Yeah, they still have False Promise too, so this is a very tough gank.
Yeah, I mean, everything's been a tough gank because you never know how many heroes are going to be in the picture. Everyone's just so slippery, moving lanes left and right. Now, Jason, another great sentry ward, is going to take out the vision around the Roche pit, so Dire feel a little bit safer. Now, there's going to be some drops out onto Bisa. He finally gets picked off. Ghost Ship to celebrate and dance on his grave, and now there is going to be Flea moving forward. No blink for him yet. He's super, super close, 20 gold off.
No saves, man. That's a feels bad man moment. You're sitting down here, get your False Promise ready. It's like, I am protecting my core. It just goes down anyway. Rough stuff. It is really tough against Shadow Demon and Kunkka because obviously when you're in Disruption, you can't target them, right? So you can't get out these Fate's Edicts or False Promises or anything like that, and so so much damage.
It's happening. 747 forced to take this damage. The Burrow Strike connects, and he just sits there once again. Alley-oop dropped up, kicked down. That's going to be another kill going in favor of Flea. Now 2-1 and 3. It looked like he was having trouble in the laning phase controlling the Morphling, but now once he picks up that blink, he's starting to shine. It's only 15 minutes in, but Doo Wop still doubling the kill score. Overall net worth is going to be, you know, Invoker favored, basically. It's Invoker versus the world. Things are slightly in Doo Wop's favor, but nothing that can't be turned around with a Morphling that's ready to take on the world.
Yeah, once CNC actually leaves the middle lane, right, he just heads in the jungle, he uses Midas, he throws out some Sunstrikes, gets plenty of assists, and from there, things have been great for him. So now picking up those bots.
Regen rune as he was low mana. That's just a whole extra life for CCNC.
And right back to his hometown, the jungle, so more money stacking on him. It'll be interesting to see what his next build will be. You're rocking with this, like, Luna, Shadow Demon kind of a draft, lots of push coming in. The mobility isn't necessarily as important as it might be in other drafts. Like, you don't have this big setup thing that you're looking to capitalize on top of, so we might just see the Aghanim Scepter. Depends on how powerful CNC is feeling and like how much setup he feels can come out from his team, which we've already seen to be exceptionally good on these like stacking of stuns and whatnot, just between the Burrow, the X, the Torrent, right from the Disruption too. So it's it might be one of those games where he can just skip on mobility thanks to the drums.
So we've got a bit of a corral coming here. Doo Wop, they're rotating more resources down. They're bringing in Jason, they're bringing in Snaking, and they definitely want to secure this tier 1 tower, if not take a couple heroes out with it. But there is that rotation potential coming through from 747, from the Morphling. I mean, both those heroes would rather be farming, but this tier 1 tower is super, super important.
Yeah, and actually, even he's gone, so
yeah,
this tower's dead. Once Undying TP's out, that's it.
Yeah, early use of that disruption onto the Luna. I mean, she's already got those 2 points in Lunar Blessing, 3 points in Moonglaive, so this tower does not stand a chance when this Fortify is done.
Oh, no one else is here, though. And they see this thanks to this ward, so MJW just bold enough to come on over.
Alright, so towers going down every which way. Lots of denies. There was a deny mid, there was a deny top by the Timbersaw, but well, we'll see if Radiant's actually going to be able to keep this bottom tower alive and maybe even mount a push bottom lane of their own.
It's almost like Doo Wop left it so that they can force a fight down here. Like, it's almost like they want to fight. Like, they could have just secured this tower. They could have just stayed, used some good vision, checked around, like, knowing where people were at top, but instead, both supports just rotate to the mid lane trying to get something.
Double TPs out in this top lane as everyone just moving around. This is probably the least stable early game I've ever seen in terms of rotations, and amount of TP scrolls bought has got to far exceed the average so far.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how the pushes have gone too, where you've got like Snake King's not the one dictating pushes. It's actually just kind of CC&C, right? Takes that mid tower. He's been pressuring the top lane as well. It's not like this whole like Luna heavy strat. And speaking of which,
yeah, she's about to get dragged back in. Shadow Demon does what he can, but it's just gonna get dropped into so much damage. Now Snake King does have the Eclipse available. We'll see if he just YOLOs it up. It looks like that will be the play. A couple of little strikes come out onto MJW. Can they lock him down? They are able to do so. Now Snake King got a couple stacks of napalm. Really gotta watch that now. Unfortunately, they drop the Luna. Now they're looking to get more. Way too. Just going to be munched on. Disruption coming back up. Maybe they can try to turn this way too. Not able to live through that. Now Francis going to dodge out that Sunstrike. Will connect onto the Undying. Now underneath the tower, Jason could still be running for his life. The Oracle doing what he can to help, as 747 pulls himself through, clips the Shadow Demon. CC&C comes in trying to make something happen, but it's just a little bit too late. Too much has been lost, both supports and the Luna, and it's just there for Invoker to clean up the mess.
isn't it great when you have maxed out reactive armor and you get false promised? I mean, that is just fantastic amounts of regen. If that wasn't doubled up right there, I'm pretty sure Susie heads on down, so... nice little plays there. Good build. Don't get the damage maximum, but with the, you know, Shadow Demon, Kunkka, he's running on me. Still has plenty of damage to take him down. And Doo Wop get a little bit of a dent in their whole plan here. CC&C, again, he's the one who pushes towers. As your Luna apparently is just drawing that pressure everyone else on the map. And now the dream becomes the Roche pit. For now, Snake King just going to take care of these ancient stacks, but this tower cleared out. We might see a little bit of vision added in this area from the Dire side. And they just want to stack this up on their Luna and start committing in towards these nice tier 2s, because Bisa, he's got that Lincoln Spear, and the clock is ticking before E-Blade's out.
Yeah, I mean, Morphling has had a ton of space, very little kill participation because he's just been sitting back trying to avoid all the death and destruction and rotations that have been coming out. So, like you mentioned, Lincoln's done, going to be working towards the shotgun, but we'll see if Sand King's going to try to punish this. There we go. First mistake. Sand King, not Stan King.
I mean, you made it pretty proud of me.
747 is going to get dropped in, and there's going to be the Sunstrike. Can he actually get away? He goes for the deny. Nice use of that Bloodstone, freshly picked up. down to 10 charges, but doesn't give a kill to CCNC, which is pretty important at this point. The Invoker, he's doing all right in terms of net worth. Top of the chart still. Morphling, though, not far behind. What kind of impact can the Luna have? I mean, Snake King been farming up, had a couple of nice little ultis, but so far not feeling like that huge position 1 core.
Yeah, he's just kind of like that. It's more CCNC, right? Are they actually... Oh, man. I thought they were almost going to get him again, but a lot of his power just comes from like that Roche-taking potential, that ability to just work as a team to really punish on objectives and whatnot. So thinking, although he's been lagging around a little bit in terms of farm, look where he is now. Like, all that pressure is coming bot, and again, he's just out of there. He's farming safely. It's pretty impressive he's only died 3 times, honestly, because it felt like the majority of the game, this is what they're trying to do.
Oh, Batrider lasso. It's going to connect, but it might actually be a mistake there, as Luna can turn this around. Got the ulti at the ready. There's going to be a boat dropped in. Torrent looks like it will latch onto the Undying, that's being healed up by the Oracle. Meanwhile, Morphling's able to get the kill onto the Shadow Demon on the back line of the fight. Oh, man, CCNC drops as well. I didn't think they were going to commit that deep, but Invoker just no breaks. Keeps on rolling through, so now FDL have a really nice window where there's no control from the Shadow Demon illusions on the Luna. There's no control from the Invoker spells, so they're just going to try plowing out this tier 2 tower. Maybe even looking for another kill here.
Yeah, they have the vision on Snake King. MGW has Blink. Will he go for it?
He's got Blink, but no lasso, so the follow-up has to be on the back of maybe a nice little flame break. They're looking to reinitiate here, as there will be an Eclipse popped out. Oracle leaves the field. Undying down as well. Now they might be able to get the kill onto Way2, but 747 might be in a little bit over his head. There's going to be an ulti channeled up. There's the epicenter coming in. Batrider as well as this Timber are dropping low. There's going to be a Lucent Beam to polish off the Batrider. Now Bisa has got to book it away, as Flea looking to reinitiate, has the Blink at the ready, going for the Burrow Strike. It does connect. There is another Timber Chain at the ready. Can they keep him locked down? Oh, God. Unfortunately, the Luna just gets completely controlled up and destroyed. Now Replicate coming through, but 1 hit short of taking out Jason. Bisa might just have to bail out. This fight has gone on altogether too long, and unfortunately, Morphling is now the only survivor on his team.
Yeah, it becomes a pretty painful experience there for FDL. It starts out with that great pick. They get the Invoker, they're walking right mid, and you're like, okay, this is an opportunity for them to push down a tower. It's pretty difficult for their lineup to do that overall. Tombstone was down, Lasso was down, and they go into the jungle hoping to get another quick pick, kind of get that momentum rolling where it's like, okay, Invoker's down, so they don't want to fight. So let's try and get their Luna right now, because they're just going to be on the run. It should just be freebies, but that quick Eclipse, taking down that Oracle so quickly and not allowing that counterplay to come out from these Fate's Edicts, just absolutely humongous there coming up from Snake King. So they dive too deep. They don't end up getting any big objective here for FDL. The only benefit, again, is that Bisa does survive, so E-Blade won't be delayed too much further.
Oh, Bisa might actually get something out of this. Morphling not fucking around, just kills off that Sand King like it's nothing.
Closer and closer. I'm excited to watch him just like absolutely annihilate someone here, because this is a Luna, right? And not exactly the biggest HP hero. She went into the Manta style too, so maybe Snake King will have some godlike dodges, but of course we're suspecting that Beast is not going to fall for that one. Top lane, CCNC is lassoed up here. The damage...
Can he actually keep this controlled? Tornado pops out. He's going for the TP, and they've got nothing else. Flame Break, unfortunately, not going to be able to be spent up. Still on cooldown, so Invoker, by the skin of his teeth, gets back to base. Bottom lane, though, we're going to have a Ghost Ship dropped out. Bisa not going to be so lucky here. Fight goes right back the other way. Is Snake King going to be sitting back, has that Lucent Beam up in 1 second. The Vision game will most likely be won out by the Dire. They got the drag back. There is going to be the Torrent, so even in the Flesh Golem form, Undying cannot withstand the pain of Kunkka Luna.
Man, that is really... I wish I saw how they set that one up. I don't know if that was just it must have just been a torrent. That's the only explanation, right? Way too god, I guess, right? Because obviously Lincoln Sphere and whatnot, so there's no setup from the X, but into the Roche pit they go. This is an objective they've been eyeing for the past 5 minutes or so, and now just finally finding that moment here for Handy having Undying and Morphling down. Batrider and Undying and Timbersaw, 3 pretty damn good heroes for fighting around the pit. So Undying being down makes this pretty easy.
And now there's going to be a channeled up ulti as Francis takes out 2. Oh, all of a sudden FDL not looking so hot, as there's an Aegis the way of Doo Wop. There's 2 kills Now it looks like MJW trying to escape. He's on the high ground. He's got that advantage going for himself. There is going to be that slow coming back through. He's got the TP, but the X right back into a torrent means his time is limited. He's going to be taking out some serious damage, and finally the Shadow Demon gets credit for the kill.
This is
what
painful.
happened? FDL, they looked so strong. Their Morphling was like, all right, guys, I've just been bench pressing this entire time. Time to go lift their entire team. But Doo Wop just walking on them right now.
This is like the one time in the game you can't crumble as FDL. You've made it this far. You did it. You delayed that Roche forever. You won that fight in the mid lane, and you threw it all away in the jungle. That's pretty much what happened, right? From there, they became destabilized. They were no longer grouped up. There's the pick on bottom onto the Morphling, then right out the end dying, transition to the Roche pit. You throw away 2 more up top, and this E-Blade was like quite literally 100 gold away. And you're missing out on such a big opportunity. Oh, yo, okay, all right.
So
Bisa,
he's
don't
changing
scare me
courses,
like that, bro.
yeah.
Bisa, don't do that. All right, no, he bought it. We're chill, guys. It's still gonna be E-Blade. All right, I'm glad you saw that too.
Yeah.
That was terrifying.
BKB, time for the Morphling, okay. But yeah, things are going pretty all right for Doo Wop. Overall net worth is going to be dropping off of a cliff, 5,000 now in favor of the Dire. The breakdown looking really, really good for CNC on this Invoker. What does he have to do to keep this momentum up right now? He's got the Aghanim Scepter, he's got the Midas. What's next on the checklist?
Well, that is looking like a Perseverance, so one would expect the old Lincoln Sphere. Pretty solid game for it. Up against the Bat Rider, up against our E-Blade Morphling, so there's a fight coming.
Oh, what's happening here as Bisa jumps in, goes straight for the bounty rune. Everyone else can just screw off. Now Kunkka trying to get things started. There will be the X, but not going to be well timed there. 747 now going to be one of the victims of an Eclipse coming back out. The Oracle doing everything he can to keep him healthy. As you've got your Sand King still walking around. 747 may end up popping. The heals have been pretty good. He actually comes out nearly full health. They're looking to turn this around onto Jason. The Shadow Demon hits the deck, but it seems like everyone else from the Dire should have a decent escape route. The Bat can blink forward now, looking for another target. And okay, that was just a cute little bait as they're looking for the Sand King now. 747 moving forward, but the blink away from the Sand King will now continue to break things up. So much mobility on both teams means these fights can come across really big distances.
Yeah, and a lot of pressure on the initiators. I mean, that kind of is like every Dota game.
Oh, speaking of initiations, we are going to get another drag here. It's only onto the Kunkka, but you know, everything works out in the end. Is a little tornado coming in.
MGW was like, yeah, this is why Bat Rider is a hero compared to Sand King. I mean, Sand King's a great hero as well for different reasons, but when you're a Sand King who blinks that forward into like the river down here, and your whole team's up here, you can't just drag the guy back for a freebie like a Bat Rider can. This guy just, the very nature of this hero is so solid in competitive play that it's no wonder that we always see him rising to the top of that pick ban list, despite the fact that you've got like counters available.
Yeah, so all of a sudden, FDL, I mean, they're still looking very much alive. Quick little picks on the Kunkka, quick little picks on the supports. It's going to start stacking up. Morphling is still doing really well. We haven't really seen the debut of that shotgun just yet. I'm excited to see, you know, if Morphling can shotgun down the Invoker, that is going to be an awesome fight for FDL.
They need a gem, too, from FDL. Like, there's a Glimmer cape up on Jason now. CCC, of course, can just pop Ghost Walk. The Sand King, too. There have already been a couple situations where the fights have been a little bit harder than necessary because they were lacking. I noticed there were sentries picked up, so that's nice at the very least, but Gem will do a lot right here for them to just close out this map. And CCNC, oh boy, 9 seconds to the last.
Playing with fire. We'll see what's happening now as, again, this Bat Rider is just all up in the Dire's business. Looking for a pick. He's got the blink. He's got the lasso. He starts things off with the Firefly, but it looks like he's just getting back to safety. The Fortify on the tower, soon to go down, and Morphling able to easily finish that one off. Now, I mean, Luna is farming up with that Manta style, pushing in the top lane, but Luna definitely not feeling as impactful as the Morphling. What does she have to do to really start being?
I mean, look what they just did. Like, they just walked up and took this tower against a team with Aegis. That is terrifying. She's gone for that BKB, so Snake King's trying to have that presence in the fights, but now because he's gone for that defensive option, it also means I feel this pressure to farm more and more and more, because I want to get up into something like that Butterfly or something else to add in, but because that E-Blade being up, you don't really have a choice. So, understandable build here from Snake King, but it's, I guess, like, disappointing to be doing this kind of stuff when you're holding Aegis on your side.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be a little bit scared if you're Dire, because what are your real timings? You're waiting for Luna to get big, but the longer you wait, the bigger the Morphling gets, which I feel like is even more of a concern than Dire are budgeting for.
Yeah, you could say, I think, even though it's like a Luna who is, you know, pretty happy with that whole early game meme push strat kind of stuff, it's kind of even when it comes to overall scalability, right? I mean, Undying notoriously falls off for two supports. Really not too shabby. Kunkka Shadow Demon, very valuable all game. Invoker only gets better and better as the levels stack up. Sand King as well just has some very nice options that he can work into too. So if they can manage to secure some kills on Beast in the later stages of the game, the rest of the supporting cast isn't too scary on the side of FDL. But again, that means you have to try and kill Bisa. So good luck with that part first.
This game is so back and forth. The net worth graph just looks like a shitty signature. Like, it's just up and down. We're now still hovering at 0, so the next big fight is going to be super important. Aegis has been consumed on CCNC, so they don't have that going for themselves, but we saw how quickly Luna and her Manta illusions and Shadow Demon illusions are able to plow apart towers.
And speaking of which, only this last one remaining, the entire map, so for now, we probably just wait for Roche. Again, Gem, be super nice here. Try and close out all this vision. Still surprised we haven't seen one, but MJW is putting that pressure onto his own BKB instead. Really wants to spend the money on that. Maybe Stan King will buy one and hand it over at some point. He's up to 900 gold now. Oh, this ward paying off here. Speaking of which, no gem for the... Oh, and they're picking up now, but it might be a little bit too late. Dire's like, oh, were they under this ward? They must have been.
Oh, Snake King is about to meet with a very cruel fate.
Yeah, they know this is coming.
Yeah, I mean, they're backing off, but there is still going to be the lasso to connect. Can they get off that Eclipse in time? Shotgun. Oh! Dodged out by the Manta style, so Luna will be able to get back up to high ground. A lot of FDL's time wasted. Big rotation all across the map is for naught.
Yep, great X there from Way 2.
Yeah.
Save onto Snake King. So perfect, this ward, man. Whew! Smoke spotted out. Life is okay. Everyone gets back into the base. And how many do they have left on the side of the Radiant? Oh, actually, we should check a double smoke status here. They still have 1 in stock on the Radiant side. None in their inventories, whereas on the Dire, they're also holding none. And they are rocking no smokes. Whoa, for 9.5 minutes. This is their last one. Love to get something out of this.
They've got to get something going here. Again, still sitting on that Eclipse. They're eager to show off that cute little Agnum Scepter and Invoker. And
oh, Way 2, we could get in.
Way 2. You are just all up in Radiant territory now. Force-staffed back to his allies. But unfortunately, it looks like the smoke gank will not be successful.
That would have been terrifying, but it is them who are going to gain the vision advantage. Thanks for picking up that gem first. Coming on in, steam rolling through some of this. Oh, Sentry. Missed that one, unfortunately, but doesn't matter too much.
All right, so a little bit of a standoff here. Mid lane, no man's land. 747. He's getting what he wants to get done. He's got that Octarine core now. He's got the Hood of Defiance, but 8 charges in the Bloodstone is certainly not ideal for a Timbersaw at this point.
Yeah, it's not that like grossly sad 2 charges or something like that can happen, but there haven't been too many fights lately, so Susie not quite finding the best options to get that back up and stacked. And now picking up his plate mail. To move on into that Shiva's Guard. It's going to be really nice up against this Luna.
Yeah, I mean, Luna's picked up that Eagle Song, so it looks like Butterfly is going to be coming out for the Kitty Cat. How's that going to change the pace of the game? Is that going to mean that Snake King starts, being an initiator, trying to go in offensively? Because for now, it seems like fights break out, and then Luna kind of comes in, tosses a Lucent Beam. I don't know. It's quirky. I feel like Snake King's involvement is not 100% yet.
It's just the item for him this game. Makes sense. You've got that BKB. He's still holding on to the 10 seconds. Once he pops that thing, it starts just wailing away. There's nothing they can do. Like the right clicks from Bisa won't be able to bring him down now. Everything else is magic damage, as we know. So, just going for a solid damage, but anti-morphling survivability item. The gem's now finally picked up here from Stan King, thankfully, but Stan King just needs that chaos factor. Shadow Demon disruptions, got some torrents going, a little bit of X, some boat happening. Francis coming through. All he wants to do is be in the middle of hell on Earth and just, right-click people. Gotta love playing Luna sometimes. It's great.
Yeah, there is a lot of potential for chaos with replicates and Manta illusions and Shadow Demon illusions. These fights are going to be messy. They're going to be taking place across crazy distances with all the blinks that are involved. So I'm excited to see what's going to go down. Roshan is now back up, which should be an objective for both teams.
Yeah, I think right now it should be in the hands of FDL. I think it's just too scary for snaking. Like, unless CCNC is a total god. Well, okay, sorry, CCNC is a god, but he needs to be like a mega god with this Lincoln Sphere. Or else Snake King's still in trouble, right? Still doesn't have an option up against that. So if they get one really good lasso and bring them on in, they, you know, stack. Well, then again, they don't really have the stuns to stack, but as long as Beast is close enough, they should be able to burst them down inside of it.
So Radiant, they're occupied up here in this top land. Roshan is going to be pinged out by Shadow Demons, so maybe looking to make their way in. We talked about the deficit of smokes.
Ooh, Susie. Francis in position, has epicenter. CCC nearby.
He's trying.
Go for this. Oh, it's so tempting.
He's got to just be chomping at the bit, like, guys. But it looks like CCNC, he's not biting. He wants to play this one safe, which is really understandable. You don't want to throw away what we've got, especially knowing the Roshan is up. So one really bad fight means FDL easily take Aegis, whereas Doo Wop, they might be looking to contest this now.
MJW goes that way, though, and the ward was down here. Luckily, it's expiring, but... Dave's good. Yeah, this should be theirs. They have Batrider, they have Undying. Shouldn't be too much of a question. The burden is definitely on Doo Wop to come in here and try and fight this one out. Oh, there's Firefly used, though. If the dire side see this, they might feel bold enough to make an attempt inside.
I mean, I think
they're too far, though. They're moving north.
Dire, they've got to be doing something there. They are going to Sunstrike the pit. See that Roshan hasn't quite been taken now. Looks like Francis, he's trying to bail out of here. They are able to flame break him, and I don't think the Sand King lives for much longer.
Ooh, nice little pick. No buyback. The question is, do we go Roche? I would say the answer is probably yes. Susie says no. This is just going to meet them there, and looks like we will. All right.
Yeah, I mean, this game is very, very ebb flow in terms of action. There's long periods of farming and then just massacres all over the map.
So it looks like the Radiant are not too afraid of this one. MJW is just kind of playing bodyguard here, but Roche is theirs. The Dire will just have to settle for a tower.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty nice tower if they can get it, and they should be able to push very quickly with this Luna. And what does the Aegis mean for FDL? Does it mean they can start to push high ground? Does it mean they're going to try to take a 5-on-5 fight? Or is it just kind of that game extender?
I think it's high ground gaming. I mean, yeah, exactly. Just throw it on Bisa. Now he can go in. BKB's done for the Batrider too. So applying pressure around the map is great from them because they might be able to try and split up the Luna and CCNC and get a pick onto one of them, or the Sand King again. As we saw there, he didn't have buyback last time, so if that were to happen again, that would be just kind of GG for them. But there's no real... I don't think there's anything discouraging from just walking up 5-man mid.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're scared of the close quarter fights where Doo Wop kind of corral you. You've got Luna on one side, you've got Sand King channeling an Epi on the other, you've got Invoker guarding the back. I mean, there is the potential for Doo Wop to position incredibly well, but at the same time, FDL, they've got that survivability just to walk at you and see what happens.
Yeah, the benefit still for Doo Wop, though, as we just saw, if they do screw up from FDL, the push is pretty crazy, so they can definitely force buybacks, even if it's from, like, here. Like, you have Luna and Invoker, you don't necessarily have to win on a fight on this side of the map to punish an objective. You have the Lunar Blessing stacking on all your heroes and with the illusions and whatnot, and then you also have just, like, Forge Spirits, so stuff is good. For now, they're going to start this whole positioning maneuver here. You can see MJW just run around with this gem, trying to eliminate all the wards. Make sure that Dire can't see anything, and then from there the slow siege can begin.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely FDL positioning to just go in, start messing up some racks, but Doo Wop, they're not giving them the satisfaction. They might actually go for an offensive push of their own, picking up this top lane. It's scary, because Doo Wop do push incredibly fast. If they get that Luna up to the structures with the Shadow Demon illusions, that's really scary for FDL. I mean, they could lose racks in like 15 seconds, but the problem is that FDL they can fight a little bit longer. It's hard to cut them down. So it seems like they're going to be mounting up that defense. They know that Doo Wop are going to be looking to go get the most out of their Luna in this mid game.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because we've seen in some games when you try and do this little maneuver here with the Luna and the Shadow Demon where Batrider then jumps in once he sees the illusions because he knows that Disruption's down and therefore your save is down for the Luna. But thankfully this game they also have the Kunkka and the Sand King, who are both very nice counter-initiating heroes, so you don't really have to worry about that. MGW is still going in though, and that scan will catch him. They might think that's a maneuver from here though, and it's not going to end up mattering. They'll just run away.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a game of chicken right now as everyone just reacting to the plays of the other team. You know, Doo Wop showed that they were going to push in the top lane, so all of FDL back up and go do that, and Doo Wop move down to this bottom lane. Wouldn't be surprised to see FDL trying to push into this top lane and have all of Doo Wop come back and corral them, so Pretty passive at this point. No one wants to be the first one to jump and start these fights because next big fight is most likely going to mean at least one set of racks, and the net worth is almost dead even.
Yeah, they're in a good spot right now from the Radiant side, though. Pushed out from the mid lane from 747, and then immediate bots at the top. So they've assembled 5. They have a good presence in 2 lanes, and they see C&C down bottom. So, oh, in he goes.
MJW, he pops in that blink and the Firefly, but isn't able to catch anyone. 747 moves up onto the high ground. They've got this Morphling illusion slapping away, but no big ults have been spent. Now we are going to have Francis catching out 747 in a Burrow Strike, Torrent off the mark, so all of Doo Wop still running around, still looking for that catch point to really start the fight, but FDL, they're content with their slow little chip damage. They've got more and more bottled up. They've still got their Morphling ready to fight. They've still got 747 with full health, full mana. Now there's going to be that Lincoln's popped out. Bisa may have to play a little bit safer knowing that the Lucent Beam could clip him, but I mean 747, he's got
the dream
like
is to force BKB.
Infinity health, yeah. On the back line, there is going to be that BKB from the Batriders. He does get one target trapped up. CC&C going to be blasted out. Meanwhile, the Eclipse from the Luna doing a little bit of work, catching out MJW. Now Stan King is going to be the first to fall, and they're looking for more. They are able to get the Undying as well, so both supports hit the deck. Snake King cleaning up this Tombstone, and he can still fight. He's still got a couple of Lucent Beams. The mana, not too shabby. CC&C goes for the Hex. Now Bisa, he's going to have his Aegis popped. Can they lock him down a second time, though? I mean, they're looking at that. They popped down the ice wall. Bisa is going to be going back in. There's no replicate available. It's Morphin Strength for all he's worth. It's going to be going in. Shotgun connects onto way 2. Meanwhile, Bisa himself will probably end up falling. A nice little kill there for CC&C. Things are starting to really work out for Doo Wop as FDL overextend. All they get is a tier 3, and they drop most of their team.
Yep, Snake King played that fight perfectly. The only way that, like, the fight goes awful for Doo Wop if the BKB is used by Snake King and he can't find anything during it. That's like the worst case scenario, but instead it became best case scenario. There's like 4 heroes up on his high ground right there. He pops BKB and he just runs with the Oracle and the Undying. And what are they going to do? They're forced away from the fight, and then you've just got this Morphling, Batrider, and Timbersaw stuck amongst the rest of Doo Wop. We talked about like this chaos and the amount of control that they have there, and everyone just got controlled up. It wasn't enough for them to do, and now here comes Snake King with that Linken's put on top of him. And this is that push we talked about. Like, your Morphling's still dead, and they're here. Might be able to force a buyback.
The problem is you do have a lot of control up still from FDL. It's really, really hard to actually get up to that high ground because Timbersaw, he's just going to keep tossing out these chakrams. He can clear the wave super efficiently. So actually getting Luna illusions up to the towers, it's pretty tricky to see. You know, they're getting cleaned up now. There is going to be the Lincoln Sphere available. And they are able to go through, get a little bit of control into 747, but certainly not able to take him down. And now that the Morphling's up in 10 seconds, Doo Wop just cut their losses. They learn from FDL's mistakes and don't overcommit for the high ground siege.
Yeah, Doo Wop know they're still not in a very commanding position. There's really no benefit to them running up. They do have the superior split push. Like we saw FDL, despite having the Aegis, despite having this kind of threatening presence, it took them a little while to actually get that coordinated effort where they're like, Susie's here in the mid lane and everyone else is up top, and then we meet and we go for this push. You compare that to the side of Doo Wop, who have bots over on this Invoker who can split super fast. You have double defensive support options available for the Luna, who also has Boots of Travel. So they're going to have a little bit of harder time actually pressuring into this side of the map than the Dire do. So they're just going to like kind of let them wait, right? Doo Wop do their own thing. Are they looking for a smoke here? Or they're just playing mega safe, it seems.
Yeah. I mean,
what
they don't
is
want
this?
to give
This
away.
is hilarious.
He's writing a story.
What? This is hilarious. Okay.
You having some fun there, Mopax?
I don't like. What are the Dire doing? This is great. I don't know.
I mean, they definitely don't want to give anything away. I think they're anticipating that slow siege from FDL. They're anticipating FDL overextending a little bit, and they want to be there to punish. They want to be at their high ground to be able to catch anyone like 747 pushing in too deeply on his own. But they're going to finally venture out of their base. Roshan, still a little while till that comes up. That's going to be a huge objective. Both teams need the Aegis to push high ground.
Yeah, I'm still on the. I just think that was so funny. Just like they thought there was a super next level play from the Radiant where the Radiant are like smoking up here because it's pushed in mid and they're gonna like smoke up top to catch someone coming out to like farm this lane or something ridiculous. That's good stuff. But no, you are correct. Aegis Dota is the name of the game. The Lincoln Sphere being picked up here is giant for Snake King. The Pipe of Insight also huge here for Jason. So many more defensive options available to them right now. Francis, man, can I get a gem going here? What is up?
We got CC and C now coming in. Again, he's got that Scythe of Vice now, picking up the Soul Booster as well. We are almost at 6-slotted Invoker, just ready to rock. He's got the level 2 bots as well. I mean, CC and C's been having a fantastic game. He's not on the top of the net worth chart anymore, though. Timbersaw has definitely made up some lost ground. He's sitting on a 9-charge Bloodstone, which isn't ideal, but now with the Pipe, the Ags, and the Octarine...
This is scary, though. CC's coming up pretty far. He does have buyback, thankfully. He's one of the heroes who does, and the question is, do the Radiant want to go for it? If they catch any of those heroes without buyback, though, like, if they got snaking right now, that is just... Oh. Lag.
Sure. All right, so
Did you just sure MJW? Yeah, you better change the subject. Damn, girl.
Break down the potential outcomes for this next fight. Is it Doo Wop realize, like, oh shit, we are out, all of Radiant are off the map, back it up, or is there going to be some sort of scuffle going on right now?
Yeah, I don't think there's a fight here. I think they just run and there's not enough chase.
Yeah, I mean, there's a decent amount. They've got... Oh, there we go. Stan King. It's lobby mistake. It's been said like 15 times, but this is game number 1 of a best-of-3 series. It's not all on the line just yet, but it could be pretty shortly. Again, this game is super duper even. Only about 2,700 in favor of Doo Wop, which is literally nothing. That's like 1 kill on a position 1.
Now we still wait.
So how's your day going, Mopax?
It's good. What did I do today? I got up super late because I stayed up watching China. Except I didn't have that. I went to bed during game 2 of the series before EG OG because I was like, all right, this is going to game 3. There's like no way that like this is going to. There's no way MVP are going to lose this. They've got the second game. It was just looking ridiculous. And I guess they threw mega hard. So if I had just stayed up a little while, I could have just watched EG OG. But that went to 3 games, so pretty good. I didn't stay up, but I watched it this morning unspoiled. I managed to avoid it. That was really nice. Had a lovely time watching some replays. It was a nice day. I love watching me. Oh, and then a friend made me waffles for dinner.
Dude, you're living the fucking life.
It really was, yeah. It was pretty great. They were like, yo, come over and I'll make you guys waffles. And we were like, yeah, that sounds great. I would love waffles. It was like chicken waffles with like gravy and stuff for supper. And then we had like dessert waffles with like, you know, fruits and chocolate for dessert. It was the dream.
I don't think I could do double waffles.
Ever.
I gotta go with like either like sweet or savory. You can't.
That's like the whole point of like once the waffle iron's out, everything's waffles as far as I'm concerned.
You know, I can't say I've gone that crazy, but we are gonna be going together to that LAN in Montreal in a couple of weeks to cast the finals of the Northern Arena Beat Invitational. So maybe you can show me the ways. Get some waffles. Just load them up with maple syrup, dude. We're gonna be in Canada.
That's true. That's right. You'll be having some good legit maple syrup. No more Aunt Jemima for you.
Dude,
the real shit.
Okay, I grew up in like rural Massachusetts. I know my way around some real maple syrup.
No, I said real maple syrup, not American maple syrup. It's on our flag. I think we know what we're doing. Just saying. We have a Federal Reserve of maple syrup, okay? Stuff's serious business up here.
All right, I will never challenge you on maple syrup again.
Thank you. It is appreciated.
You know what's the worst? Butter-flavored maple syrup. They sell that in America.
Butter? Oh. Honestly, the biggest, like, atrocity that I find when I grocery shop is when I accidentally buy tomato sauce and beans instead of, like, molasses and beans. You know what I mean? That's got me a couple times. That is just, you know, you try and buy a can of beans and you want them to actually taste good, but it's like tomato and beans instead of molasses and beans. That is the worst.
You know, man, we bond over a lot, but I can't say I've ever experienced that in my daily life. All right, either way, back to the Dota. We have resumed, and just like you predicted, no real fight. Everyone goes back to farming. Roshan, man, you're going to make it happen. 20 seconds, and we may have a fight in our hands. 747, extending out a little bit far. They're going to send in some Luna Illusions, but for now, it's just CC&C continuing to farm. He has got a crap ton of money, so we can buy out that Octarine whenever.
Yeah, what is his 2200 surplus? Oh, yeah, he can just sell Midas. Oh, actually, he'll still have slots, though. Can't ditch that thing yet. So, for now, just gonna make sure he has buyback for picking up that Mystic Staff.
Yep. So, again, passive game for now. There haven't been a whole lot of just big, full-on fights. It's more just these weird, you know, pick-offs and skirmishes and someone being caught out off guard. Wow, that XP looks like a terrible EKG.
It's an EKG now. We've moved on.
No. The net worth is a shitty signature. The XP is an EKG.
Oh, sorry. My mistake.
All right, either way, there is an invis rune available down bottom, so it could be some nice little ganks setting up. And Radiant, they're going to be the first to scout out that the Roche is back up. They haven't sent out Luna's dominated creep into the pit again like they did last time, which could end up costing them, but for now it seems like Doo Wop want to find picks before they go in for anything. FDL, similar story, pushing up onto the Dyer's territory.
Ah, the old smoked teams, one pick deciding a game. Glorious Dota 2, 48 minutes in and everything can just go out the window. The buybacks on the Invoker and the Luna.
Luna, she's ready to jump. She wants to go in onto 747. The replicate, though, going to be coming in. Roshan, he's getting aggroed in this. He's coming in and out of the pit. 747 tosses out double chakrams, doesn't connect. Doo Wop, they're ready to surround. They're ready to go in. Way 2's got the boat. But you've got to get all of FDL in a receptive place, and they just run away. This is such a scared fight.
All right, no one wants to fight this. Apparently, we're just gonna stay here forever. This is it. We're done.
85-minute
nice.
game. Woohoo! Well,
maybe the Radiant are just feeling a little bit scared. Like Bisa, no buyback. That's pretty scary against this lineup. We've seen the push. Dyer should know about it as well, just judging by his items. I think they would be quite certain he's not rocking that buyback right now.
Oh, this could be big. Nice smoke into the pit from the Radiant. To FDL just commit to the Roche. No one is going into the Roche. They're trying to wrap around, playing Ring Around the Rosie around the Roche pit, looking for each other. And they just can't find it. Okay, finally, a scan from the Dyer will reveal that the Radiant, while they're wrapping around, who gets the jump on who, though? Again, it's just going to be all up in the air. 747 now coming back onto his own territory. The Sunstrike in the pit. Again, not going to reveal anything, but the fight will start here. 747 pulls himself forward. There's going to be the Burrow Strike coming in from Francis. Meanwhile, Luna pops the BKB charge, so easily able to pick off the Undying, and there's going to be the ulti coming up. The BKB's abundant. Deafening Blast connects. CCC, he goes down after only dropping a couple of spells snaking. He's still up chasing down Bisa, but it's just going to be a raw man fight. Lincoln's abound. The epicenter channeled up by Flea doesn't do a whole lot. Meanwhile, they do end up losing the Shadow Demon, so it's only one support left on the side of Doo Wop, and Kunkka just bails out. Now, we do have Bisa getting a little bit low. Can anyone punish this? Doesn't look like it. In the end, I think it's just going to be the end of the fight. 2 for 2. It does favor FDL a little bit in terms of overall gold if they can keep Francis alive here. He's got that force. He's got the TP. Looks like he should be able to get away safely. That rider,
like the Ring Around the Rosie never ended.
They're still going. The mobility is absurd. This fight has taken place across like the entire Radiant side of the map. Now there's going to be a drag in. Suddenly, the Sand King will lose his life, so the fight does favor FDL pretty heavily. Roche is still unclaimed.
Yeah, after all that, no one Roches. That's
Roche
that's
just
something
like,
else
guys?
right there. I think he thought he was so important in this game. Then nothing. Beast is nearby though. He's got the right click damage. Invoker still in the grave, banking in the grave. Everyone's back up for the rating. I gotta imagine it's Roche time. It's under vision though.
Beast, just stick your nose in the pit and go for it.
I can understand though. He doesn't want to be like super low. It's still kind of scary because the Radiant don't have any vision past here. Oh, now they see the sports on their way.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
it's a really tense
still...
fight. No one wants to just overcommit. No one wants to YOLO because one wipe means at least 1 or 2 set of racks, if not game. Now, Sunstrike will connect. They are going to scout out Bisa and friends in the pit. Do they try to initiate for this? The team fight spells aren't quite there. They don't have the Epi, they don't have the Eclipse, and this Roshan is starting to melt very quickly. So Doo Wop, if they want to do something, they've got to get in there now. CCNC's like, screw you guys, I'm going to go push. He's going to clear out the top lane. This will be, at last, a Radiant Roche.
Once he's there, that's it. It's just like, okay, we got this. Easy peasy. And they should probably know Sand King doesn't have buyback. Pretty sure you're thinking Sand King would have bought back and they would have fought us on that if he had it. Might see a little bit of a quicker push coming out from them. They didn't smoke out of the pit, so we'll be spotted by this ward here. DCNC should have good ideas the one he'll have to back out. But man, he is also extremely wealthy. He is minus to sell and 4,200 gold.
Well, we'll see if Dyer's going to have anything to say about that.
Oh, that's a great pick.
Move forward. Oh, Sand King just blasted apart CCNC shows off the deafening blast for fun. I think they had that kill regardless. He's going to be hexed up. Can they actually get the lockdown, though? Blinks forward. Again, Bat's mobility game is a little bit too strong. The blink and the force outdo Doo Wop. But they get that free pick on the Oracle, which, it's something. It's no Roche and Aegis and cheese, but at least it's a little bit of gold going their way. Helps CCNC out. Again, he's going to sell that Midas. He's going to pick up another slot. It's just getting ultra late game territory here, and it's going to be the game of inches. Both teams so afraid to initiate, because tiny little things, little Oracle pickoffs, little Batrider Undying pickoffs, that's going to be the difference between won and lost team fights.
It's a nice BKB.
Oh, there's going to be the BKB forced out, but Morph pushing out very aggressively. Could be in a bit of trouble here. Francis just off a BKB of his own. He's got the blink if he can last it out. Now there is going to be CCNC dragged up at the last one. He's able to get out. Now Sand King pops into the ulti. The Eclipse barely doing anything though against the tank ability of the Timbersaw. Snake continuing to focus him down. There is going to be that EMP coming in, but no mana burn. MJW finally goes down, does have the Aegis, so he's coming right back up. Meanwhile, Bisa trying to man up onto CCNC. He can't afford to go down here, gets a Lincoln's popped onto himself. Now Undying continuing to chase. There is going to be that ice wall popped in to slow everyone down. Jason, unfortunately, will be the sacrificial lamb, distracting the team fight while the rest of his team is able to escape.
All right, so in the end, they postured down the mid lane. There weren't any, buybacks forced out earlier or anything like that, so everyone's still rocking those on both sides of our rosters here. And in the end, they managed to pick off a Shadow Demon. So, nice little pick onto the Oracle, I guess, for a Doo Wop, but it doesn't end up amounting to anything.
Yeah, I mean, they're continuing to burn down BKBs. It's a bat for a Shadow Demon trade in the long run, but it looks like FDL, they're continuing to push their momentum here. They've got their bat back. And well, they're just going to be flapping up through the jungle. If they actually catch out Invoker here, this could be huge. Looks like they're going to be going in. Well, their smokes end up popping. There's Morphling just walking straight into him. Lincoln's popped. He pops into the Ghost Walk immediately. And unfortunately, the Vision game, Batrider not able to keep on top of him with the Gem of True Sight, so CCNC escapes.
Oh, and down in. Man, I didn't even catch MJW.
Oh, there's going to be the lasso here onto Francis. He has the epi, but it doesn't look like he's going to live long enough to get it off. There's the shotgun. And Morphling feeling really comfortable about that pickoff. There's no buyback for 70 seconds on the Sand King. Yeah, he's not a huge component of Doo Wop's team fight, but they don't want to fight without him. Certainly not.
I think they know, too. Like, just because he didn't buy back at that Roche fight, they probably have an inkling that he doesn't have it.
FDL, they continue that slow siege. There is going to be those exposed racks up top. It looks like the wave is pushed out mid, so they can kind of alternate, keep distracting up Doo Wop. If they burn a couple of BKB charges here, things could go really well for FDL.
This BKB from Snaking again going to be very important. This time paired up with the Satanic too. So if they're going to go for the kill, they got to make sure they actually get it on Snaking.
Tossing out chakras. Meanwhile, Snake King just beat-bopping back and forth. Still extremely high health on him. Has that Satanic finished up. Meanwhile, Bisa drop it to half health. Needs to back off. Can continue to morph strength. 747 just all the way up on this high ground, making himself at home. Ends up popping out that Shiva's guard. He's looking to re-engage onto Snake King, who's just turning. Has the Satanic available again. Meanwhile, there is going to be the racks crumbling. Morphling has found something to focus, and they are able to get some objective done. They might just want to back off here, cut their losses, continue to get out as the victors, and it seems like that's what they're going to do. Dire, how much chase do they give? Snake continues to push forward. It's going to be Manting off, goes in, has that BKB, has the Eclipse, but will it be enough? They're able to get the kill onto the Undying. They're looking for more. MJW flapping around, looking for something. They got the lasso. They blast apart that Shadow Demon. MJW forcing forward, wants to go in onto CCNC, but unfortunately the Lincoln Sphere blocks any sort of reinitiation, so support for support, but in the end, Doo Wop lose their racks after a long struggle. Morphling continuing to push forward once more, but will it be too greedy? He's able to manta off a little bit of damage, but still going to get dragged up. He's going to get healed out by the Oracle. Should be okay here, but that was a little bit too close for comfort. Going back in.
See force back though, but look how fast Bisa destroys these racks. Like, they were already too late in the top one, and now again, they're just pushed so far back, it's free.
Now Luna comes in with that Eclipse, but it doesn't really yield a whole lot. They're moving forward. They want the Batrider at the very least. They are able to get down the bat at the gem on the deck, and they're looking for more here. The TP out from 747, not going to be punished, even though Invoker's TPing back in. So a lane and a half of racks, a couple of dropped kills, but really, really good fight for FDL in the long run.
Yeah, this is where it begins, right? The slow decline. A nice natural push always coming to that top lane, puts some pressure on CC&C to be up there, puts a little bit of pressure onto Snaking to be there too. Handy that they have bots, of course. This isn't like, 30 minutes when you get a Rax or something. Those kind of resources aren't yet available. You're basically fully slotted on both of those heroes. So the buyback game, still very strong for the Dire side. Still missing on Snaking, which is bad, but... What's that?
Timbersaw's got some gold.
Oh yeah, he's a little bit wealthy. He's buying a moonshine on Timber. That is... whew! I guess he is extremely happy with the 6 items he has.
Those right
Nothing
clicks
changing.
on Timber. Oh boy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, there is going to be that TP in, hoping to just cut out
now they
that
can fight
creep.
without Invoker.
Yeah, they know Invoker won't be coming in for the next couple of minutes. Now, 747, he's going to be caught out into a bunch of heroes. They bring in Beast, the right click damage is there. They are able to get down the shot, who doesn't have buyback. And now Snake King, he's just manning up. He's got the BKB. He's got the Satanic popped as well. Just man-fighting Beast. So will it be enough? Sand King, he's going to be picked off. There is buyback on the Luna. Oh, but this is not looking good. Meatballs dropped in as finally Invoker makes it in. He picks up a double kill immediately, looking for more. Cold Snap procs. He has the Refresher Orb ready to go. Now pops into the EMP, trying to burn up that juicy mana. And Undying will fall, and they're looking for more. Batrider, even in BKB form, taking a ton of damage with 747, turning things around. Bisa with almost no health, almost no mana, wants to keep fighting. Hit by the Deafening Blast, he will be forced back, but CC&C cannot afford to go down here. His Linken's is popped, he's invis, he's running away, and this should be the end of the engage, but some losses from both sides. 2 deaths and a buyback going each way. This is getting real.
Yeah, in the end, it's actually looks like it was a win for Doo Wop, just in terms of like buybacks and gold being gained and whatnot. Unfortunately for them, the gold is thrown on top of Invoker, which doesn't matter in the slightest.
He's just slotted to hell. He can't really do anything else except for maybe Moonshard.
Yeah, exactly. Same idea, basically. 747, but that was a sick play. Really heads-up play to grab that creep as fast as possible. Having the Aghanim Scepter making it super easy for 747 to bring that down, and they decide that's a good time for them to fight, but that Satanic really kicking into overdrive there from Snake King. Made that last way longer than they expected. Not having the MKB, yeah, like, or rather, like, it's only on B-side, I guess would be the best way to put it. It's like the whole damage and whatnot. Pretty difficult to actually bring down Snake King during that.
Alright, how does the Morphling scale up? Moonshard's already consumed. Does he sell the Blade? Does he sell a BKB? It's already at low charges, because he's got to, step it up a little bit. He's no longer just this incredible source of raw damage. Doo Wop can focus him down.
I don't know, I think he's just kind of stuck with what he's got. Buybacks are so important.
Oh, CC&C, he's sitting there the whole time. They go in for the Hex, they drop the ulti. The Eclipse doing so much work. 747 now might be focused down. They're looking to focus the Tombstone first. Undying's contributions now nullified. Morphling comes back in, pops the BKB. They bring in MTW as BKB as well. They pop the Linken's on the Luna. She's running away. She already spent up her ulti. Jason now once again eats up the Radiant Aggression, something that Doo Wop are okay with if everyone else manages to live. But Snake King, he's going to eat the shotgun. Oh no, all of a sudden, Doo Wop start to crumble. They cannot afford to lose CC&C here. They're already giving up a lane of Rax, and this may just be GG as Luna does not have buybacks. They're going to lose their Invoker as well. He's buying right back into the fight, but I don't know if they can hold without their Luna.
Yeah, that fight went pretty awful for Doo Wop. See where Francis was that whole fight? He's back here dealing with an Oracle, and Snake King held that ulti for so long until he's down to double digits, and then he pops just into the Fate's Edict from then. So then Kunkka tries to come over and help him. There's just 2 heroes trying to kill an Oracle that doesn't even end up going down.
Oh, they're looking for mega creeps here. Bisa just focusing down the racks, and there's not a whole lot CC&C can do. He's diving in. He's getting YOLO. He's really trying to make something happen. Francis looks like he's trying to do what he can. He doesn't have his ulti yet. There's going to be a nice torrent popped up from the Kunkka. Boat coming through as well. Can they get the Morphling down? That's what it's going to come down to, but CC&C dropping too low. This is going to be a dieback if he goes down, and he will be out. I think this is GG, as it looks like Dire. I mean, they're holding. They're getting a couple of important kills. They forced the kill onto Morphling, though, and that's actually super important.
Now that Moonshard.
Yeah, he's right-clicking like a champ, dude. Can they get done 7-for-7? Oh,
nice.
Man. The
He
Ancient, it's all that's left, dude. Defend those tier 4s. Defend that Ancient. 7-4-7 seems
They literally
to be immortal.
can't kill him for 40 seconds.
Somehow they held this without their Luna and a dieback on the Invoker. So if nothing else, Doo Wop deserve a gold star for that. Now with Undying back into the fight, he's slowly but surely punching down these racks. Mega creeps might just be too ambitious of a target for Doo Wop to hold against, but they've got to try. This is an elimination series. Francis comes in. He's going to get hexed up here. Defended by Jason, but will it be enough? I know, forced back. The BKB keeps Sand King alive for now, but These racks, they're falling awfully low. Luna's up in 10 more seconds, although Lasso back onto Jason. They're going to have to fight this without their Shadow Demon. There's nothing they can do to keep him alive. So it's all down to this. The tier 4 is heavily under siege. There's only one left. Our moon-sharded Timber doing what it can as Snaking charges in. Snaking taking a ton of damage, but is it actually enough to hold up against this Radiant push? Pops into that Lucent Fiend, has the Eclipse at the ready. I just think there's too many targets to focus down. Snaking is trying here, goes for the ulti, but all the Radiant creeps are eating all the damage, and now Francis just getting so low, cannot afford to keep fighting. Snaking forced back. There's going to be a TP in from Way 2, just trying to go in, trying to take off the aggression, but unfortunately will most likely be met with his doom. He's moving forward, tosses out the boat. There is going to be the ulti channeled up from the Sand King. Oh! They are able to get the kill on the Undying, but the Ancient nearly exposed. They're still trying to focus on 747, but he's so gosh darn tanky, they just can't seem to do so. He timbers down to the low ground. This dire base has been completely ransacked. We got gems on the floor, but the fight's still going on. Doo Wop are not tapping out just yet. The Oracle getting low. There is going to be another Sand King ult channeled up, and they really want to go in. They really want to finish off 747. GG is called, though, as the Ancient is just, it's fallen, and there's nothing they can do. So FDL take game number 1 of this best of 3 series after nothing short of a ridiculously hard-earned fight. Wow. Any last thoughts there, Malfax?
It's kind of cool because once you get these crazy late game scenarios and everything, and some funnier interactions that you don't really see throughout the entire game start to come through. And one problem that CCNC ran into in the last like 3 fights, as you can see, MJW is just getting on top of him and giving him that sticky napalm. And there were so many times where you have all these amazing spells on Evoker. You got all these fun buttons. He had Refresher, he had Scythe, but he couldn't act. You would watch him like cold snap one target, and he would just turn to Scythe the next guy, and it took him like a full second and a half. And he's just like, because he went for the Lincoln Sphere, right? And that might be one option where, like, in this later game, it could have been more beneficial to go for something like that BKB, like even selling your Lincolns or something, because he honestly couldn't output anything. He was already missing the mobility. So once you're missing that mobility option, because he went for like the Octarine and Refresher, if you can't blink to get into that perfect setup before anyone's going to be interacting with you, like you're just coming into that already laid out battlefield, he doesn't have the blink to do that. So in that case, he needs to be in the middle of it. And if he doesn't have a BKB, he just got like walked around by MJW through so many of those engagements. So I'm sure he's feeling very frustrated at some of those points, but FDL, man, they closed it out. CCNC is going to have to try for the next 2 games for his revenge for our meme series here.
Yeah, again, elimination. Everything's on the line. All of these NA giants want to be heading to that LAN in Montreal, but only 2 teams are going to be doing that. So stick around. Game number 2 of this series coming up in just a few minutes here on moonducktv.